Welcome to the Family First Retirement Podcast with George Politarhos. For more information, visit betrayawealth.com. Now, let's get to the show.
We don't talk a lot of politics, but you can't avoid it. We've known that President Biden, we've seen the decline. I don't care if you're red or you're blue, we've seen it. The media has done their best job to try to mask it. They called it deep fakes or cheap fakes or whatever they called it. And then finally it caught up to them. Okay, if they can so easily bait and switch us with the most powerful position in the world right now, why not the economy? How do we not know that those in charge aren't fluffing the numbers about inflation, interest rates? They're always saying, hey, inflation's down 3% right now. Really? Because I haven't seen that. So how can we feel secure in our money if we don't even know who's in charge of the country right now?
And I have to preface everything I say. I'm not a fan of Joe Biden's policies, but I have empathy. To see someone be in that position is hard. We all have parents, and to see someone there, I do feel bad for him. With that being said, we always say how much, and I said this to you a million times, Mark, I love this country. I don't like the way the government is, but I love our country. And leading into that, they tell us how we're not in a recession. Go spend more money. You have more money to spend. It's no big deal. And our answer has always been in the past, I don't care what Washington tells me. I want to go to the grocery store. I want to go buy gas. I want to get my electric bill and see how great the economy is doing. And more times than not, the answer I'm getting is not a good one. And that's the same situation here. They may be saying how great something is, but it depends on when we go shopping, when we live our lives, when our kids are trying to buy a first house, when we're trying to do anything outside of the basic necessities of living. It's confusing. And we're going to talk about that when we meet. When you come into the office here at 501 Silverside Road in Wilmington, we're going to have those conversations. Because I want to know how you feel. What are you seeing? How are you doing? Are you able to do everything you want to, everything you work so hard for? And my job, when we put together the Family First Retirement Plan for you, is to give you the roadmap to make sure you're on the right course. So when you call me at 302-330-2166, we're going to address those issues. One of the things we always talk about is, inflation. And the number can be whatever you want to say, Mark. We could, it's 9%, it's 8%, it's 22% in the last 3.5 years. That's a lot of money. But how are we going to keep what you have? You worked so darn hard to accumulate this wealth. You did a great job at it, folks. You did an awesome job. If you've saved $200,000 plus towards retirement, whether it's in a money managed account, whether it's in CD, savings, 401k, TSP, a 403b, you've done a great job. Now it's my job to protect what you had and continue to have it grow. We're actively doing it for you. Whether it's with managed funds for growth, whether it's with annuities for safety and protection, whether it is for legacy planning and maybe we have that and we're going to start trying to pass that money on to our children and grandchildren by minimizing taxes. That's what you're going to get when you work with me at Betraya Wealth and my team. So when you call me at 302-330-2166, I want to give you the Family First Retirement Plan. I want to go over all the gray that we have, right? We always say we take the gray out of retirement and make it black and white. That's what we're going to do for you. Whether you're worried about the security of the banks and the airlines, or you're worried about making sure you can pay your bills tomorrow, we're going to lay it out for you, just like the old-fashioned roadmaps we had in our car. So call me at 302-330-2166. Or go to Betraya Wealth, P-A-T-R-I-A Wealth.com, and let me give you the plan to help you get the facts so you can make an educated decision. Because it's about being educated, informed, and enlightened on where you're at, where you're going, how much risk are you taking? Are you taking too much risk? Do you know where your money's vested? Are you happy? And not scared of opening up your envelopes, telling you about your statements.
The other big headline, George, we just mentioned it briefly a couple of seconds ago, a cybersecurity glitch that triggered a global tech outage. So it was a failed software update by CrowdStrike to Microsoft Windows that caused this outage across the globe. 911 was down, hospitals were down, airports are still recovering. A week later, they're still recovering. Should this be a sign that banks could be as easily compromised as the airports, as the hospitals by one? And this was just Microsoft.
Right.
Are we overexposed, if you will, with our money? Is there a better place to keep it somewhere that could be safe or protected so that if something like this happens, we can be concerned, but we don't have to be worried about losing all of our money?
Absolutely. I think, Mark, this leads into a natural conversation about having the proportionate amount of money in safe and still investable assets, okay, spendable assets. How we're going to diversify. Because if the farmer has all the chickens sitting in one coop and there's a little hole in that fence, right? The fox is having a buffet. So let's try and spread that out a little bit.
Right.
This is a prime example of why I think annuities fit so well for a portion of our investment money, or retirement money. Really do. Because Charles Schwab had a problem when they shut down. My local bank that I deal with, I deal with TD Bank for some of my business, and I have to go through like a 3-step verification because they were having problems. Annuity really fits well in this situation because it gives you that peace of mind about, I know no matter what happens tomorrow, I'll never have less than what I started with today. And I always use the analogy of a fireman. Policemen, firemen, or soldiers are the true heroes in this country. They're the only people running into fires, running towards the gunshots, while we're all sitting with our heads down running away. But a fireman has those old-fashioned ladders that slide. I don't know what the heck you call them, the sliding ladders, I'm going to say. And when the markets go up, when we share that upside with a fixed index annuity, the ladder slides up and it locks on the next step after we get our gains after that term, that year. But when the markets go down, and they go down 5%, 10%, 20%, some money in your investable assets over here will lose a little bit, right? But my FIA, my fixed index annuity, will never go down. That hook stops my losses. And that's what I think people are really striving for, to have that protection for their retirement. And let's make sure we understand something. My opinion, George's opinion, not all your money should be in an annuity.
Okay.
You need to have diversification. What's the problem in retirement, Mark? Let's go there for a second. You're not working anymore. So what's my problem if I have all my money in managed funds? I'm in the market throwing the dice.
It's too risky?
Too risky. How about the second thing? You're not feeding into it anymore because you're not working any longer, right? And when you're working, maybe you can afford a lot more risk. Maybe. Because the theory is, the market goes up and down, the ebb and flow. It goes up 500 points today, it goes down 600, goes up 20, goes down 15. But you're working. So you're still putting money into that out of your 401k, out of your TSP. You're still buying into the market.
Yeah.
Well, now you're not working. So I'm not able to put money into that account anymore. So when it goes down, you feel it harder. You don't have the time, the luxury of having time to rebuild your losses the closer you get to retirement and in retirement. And that's where the annuity fits so well. So it has to be proportionate. We use the rule of 100. And when we look at that, the rule 100 says, Mark, that you take 100 minus your current age and the difference what you can afford to have in riskier investments. So I'm one of those, I guess I'm a Gen Xer.
Oh, yeah, you
I'm
are.
born in 65. I'm 58 years old. I guess
so
that's what I am, right? I'm the last great generation, aren't I?
Well, you're 44 to 59 is Gen X.
Okay, so that's me.
Yeah.
I'm 58. I'm right there.
Yep.
I'm 58. So I should have about 50%, 58% of my money, according to this mathematical equation, should be in safe choices, less risky choices, and more of that, about 60%, 40 to 60% in higher risk. And that's just a rule of thumb. It really depends on how you sleep at night, folks. Mark and I have a different thing here.
Uh-oh.
We've been together many times, and we'll go out and have dinner and go to casinos. Mark is there playing, and I look over. I'm like, oh, my gosh, Mark, you have a 10% chance of losing this. Oh, my gosh, Mark, you're down now. And I have to walk away because I lost $20, and I am in a foul mood. When I say foul, I mean I am miserable. See, I go sit over there.
And he pouts. But the funny thing is, but just the opposite aspect, this is my play money. I go to the casino. I brought in 200. I only lose 100. I'm like, that's a win for me.
And that's
a win.
What makes vanilla and chocolate ice cream.
Yep.
Or as we like to say, we have different size shoes, right, Mark?
Here we go.
What's right for me is not right for you. My size 15 and Mark's size 2?
Two.
Don't
Now I'm
well.
down to a 2. Over the past 3 years, I've gone from a size 9 to a 6 to a 5. Now I'm a size 2.
When I give you this plan, folks, I don't know if you can hear this. You're getting something, you're holding something, you're smelling it, you're feeling it because we've worked on it together. And it's not the same plan for Mark Owens.
Yep.
That is for George Politarhos. That is for Ernie Callias. That is for John Smith. Each one is customized to your wants, needs, and desires. So when you call me at 302-330-2166, let me give you that information about how you and your spouse are going to go forward, how we're going to do a legacy plan. The bigger thing we're going to talk about is how we're going to legally and morally acceptably minimize your taxes today and be proactive in those taxes tomorrow. We love this country, right? We're here. I love America. It's the greatest country in the world. I hate the way the government spends my money. 302-330-2166 or go to Patria, Patria, wealth.com. Schedule that no cost, no obligation meeting.
I've noticed lately that you've been working with a lot of families that do just that, the second opinions. People who work with the big box firms out of Philly, New York, Chicago, Atlanta, and they feel like their needs aren't being met. Maybe there's opportunities that they feel like they're missing. What are the biggest concerns that you find from people that call you and say, hey, I just need a second set of eyes?
A lot of them feel as though they've been with someone for so many years, they don't see you anymore. And see you being, they don't feel what you're doing, how your thoughts are, because you're a number. You're customer number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they just, it's assembly line mentality. It really is. The one thing I can promise you, when you call into the office here and you come and see me and you work with me, and the next time you call, you're going to hear Jared pick up the phone and you're going to say, hi, this is Bob Smith or Sharon Jones. And Jared's going to say, oh my gosh, Sharon, how are you? How was that trip? Didn't you just go on a trip? Oh my gosh, your daughter just got married. Congratulations. Because we know who you are. It's not a customer. You're part of our big fat Greek family. You're part of us. And when Mark said, when you call in at 302-330-2166, part of the Betrayal Wealth team, I think you said, Mark, will answer that call. No, part of the Betrayal Wealth family will answer that call.
That's true.
When you work with us, we're going to talk to you like your family. We're going to treat you with respect that family members get. And when something's not right or you're off course, we're going to tell you, we have to fix this. How are we going to correct this? This is where we see it going. How can we make it right in the ship, so to speak?
Yeah.
And these people come in, Mark, for these second opinions, which I absolutely love. When things are going well with what you're doing, I'm going to tell you, you're doing a great job. Stay where you are. You're doing so well. Keep it going. If you need me in the future, I'm here. Because when we talk about changes, and people hate changes in life, folks, let's be realistic. We are animals of habit. And someone says to you, you have to do X. X has to make sense. My personal opinion is you don't do something just to say, I did it. You do something to say it's the right thing for me and my family. And when you deal with me at Betrayal Wealth and my team, when you meet with them later on, we're going to make sure you and your family are first and foremost. That the things that we talk about, that we recommend, that we look at are what's right for you and your family. And here's something I haven't talked to even my sons about. I'm that Gen X, whatever the heck I am.
Yep.
Leslie is a couple years older than me. And we are just purchased our long-term care product. So I'm 58 and 60, and I'm now prepared and lined up for long-term care protection for Leslie and I. And there's so many ways we can do it. We did with one instrument we have, and we're going to get another one down the road, but we are planning for it today.
Yep.
And my reason is that our wealth that we accumulate, if we need extra money, great, we have it. But that money, we start to transfer that wealth to Alex and Jared and Archer and Anna. That's our goal. Doesn't mean it's your goal, but it's about taking the right steps. And when you come in, you meet with me, these are the steps and the things we're going to work on together to give you the education you need to make the right choices for you and your family. So when you call me 302-330-2166 or go to Patria, Patria, wealth.com, let's start that together. to get you the best possible tomorrow.
Insurance and annuities offered through George A. Politarhos, Delaware Insurance License Number 1373121. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties.